What's up, you guys? Welcome to the show. I'm Jamie. This is Headbanging Through It, a podcast where we talk about heavy metal and mental health and all the hard shit in between. Welcome to the shit show that is my life. I'm excited to be here. I just want to start off by saying thank you again and I probably will start most of my podcasts like this, but just saying thank you to everyone that's reached out to me, continue to support me through this, and especially to the people that are connecting with me and just letting me know that they resonate with what I'm saying, just thanking me for speaking out and in the way that I'm speaking out, because it does help motivate me to continue to do these podcasts. Even honestly, if it just reaches one fucking person, that's why I'm doing it. I've felt so alone and isolated in so many pieces of my recovery that I just want to talk about it. I want to put it out there. I want to just be fucking open and honest, and just not bullshit about how fucking hard it is. So if that is what you've gone through and that's your experience and you connect with what I'm saying, I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are the reason that I'm doing this. I'm sure that things will sort of like change and shift as I move through the process of launching and creating these podcasts. I don't really have a set plan yet, other than I'm going to talk about heavy metal and I'm going to talk about mental health, and whatever comes up in between that and with that and through that, I will take it as it comes. But my rough plan is to hopefully every couple episodes or so do an episode that just focuses more on the heavy metal aspect of things. And so I want to just like dive into that a little bit today and just talk about like heavy metal. Of course, the mental health stuff is always going to interweave itself into that, because my whole fucking life is mental health heavy metal show. But I do want to focus on like some of the music that I listen to, why I listen to it, what I love about it. I want to hear what you guys love about music and what you listen to. I would love to have some people on the show to talk about heavy metal and like what it means to them. My brother wants to come on the show and talk about Marilyn Manson, and I don't have a lot to say about Marilyn Manson. However, I think that listening to him talk about Marilyn Manson would be really fucking interesting. So I think we'll have an episode like that. I have a lot of friends that have a lot of interesting things to say about music in general. So if that's you, Rob, if you want to come on and talk about Pig Destroyer, I would love to have you. Anyone really, like if you guys want to come on and have a chat about anything that I have discussed in any area of mental health or heavy metal, please hit me up. I want to have guests on the show. I am still sorting out what that looks like, but we're going to get it done. And it's going to be lots of fun. And I'll make some crazy like dark humor jokes in between and like laugh at my, chaos. Yeah. So everything is just going to like come together as it's supposed to. And I'm just going to take it as it comes. So with that, I do want to talk about music today. But before I get into that, I want to tell you guys that I am definitely not a music expert. Okay. So for anyone that is like looking to listen to someone talk about like the intricacies of music and like nerd out about like all the technicalities of a song and composition and like all that stuff, you have the wrong podcast for that. That is not what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to explain to you what my background in music is, you guys, and this is it. Zero. I have zero knowledge of music. Okay. What I'm going to talk about, I'm just a fucking fan. Like, I am a person that has grown up listening to music. I fucking love the shit out of music. I love how it makes me feel. I love how I connect to it. And it's just been a huge part of my journey and my life. And that's what I want to talk about. Music has been my heart and soul for as long as I can remember. And I am just like a music fucking fanatic. Some people are going to get really upset when they hear me say this, but I'm just going to tell you guys the truth about everything. Okay. I'm going to talk about bands and I might not even know the lead singer of that band's name. That's who I am. I'm that person. Okay. I'm not like an information station. I don't dig into like the backgrounds and the details and the ins and outs of like every single fucking band member of every band that I listen to. I don't do that because honestly, like it is just not like a big deal to me. I don't know these people. They don't know who I am, right? Like we don't have a personal relationship. Am I connected to their music and their songs? Yes. Am I going to sit here and pretend that like if I talk about them, I know who they are and what their songs are about and what their stories are and like what they went through in their life to get to that point to write that song? Fuck no. That's not who I am. I'm not a star chaser. I'm not a stargazer. If I see you on the street, I'm not going to run after you and ask for your autograph. I'm not going to ask for your photo. I think that you're amazing people doing amazing things, and you're artists and you're musicians. And I fucking love all of you. If that's what you want to hear about a band, this is not the podcast for you. I'm here to talk about storytelling. I'm an artist. I'm a writer. I journal, I write poetry, I blog, I'm a word nerd. I love crossword puzzles. I love books. I love stories. So that is the piece of music that I want to talk about and what I'm going to dig into in my podcast. So if that interests you and you want to listen to me talk about that, awesome. You're in the right place. And for everyone else, sorry guys, that's just not who I am. And I am 100% not going to pretend to be someone that I'm not. So the pieces of music that I want to talk about, you guys, are the parts that like draw us in, right? And I've learned over the course of my life that what that looks like for each person is different, right? I used to be the person that was super judgy about like, if you don't know all the words to a song, then you're not obviously a very big fan. And that is just not true. Like as we grow up, we realize that like, or some of us realize as we grow up that everybody looks at things differently, right? Like everybody comes from different backgrounds, and they all go through different things in their life. And so what draws you into the music depends on who you are, right? And what you've been through. And so I understand now that like if you're a drummer, you're probably going to hear the drumming and focus on that piece of the music, right? And like if you play guitar, that's probably what you're listening to the most, right? Like if you're into melodies, if you're into like choruses, if you're into lyrics, you know, if you're into bass, like whatever piece of the song or that music that draws you in, like that just depends on who you are, right? So for me, it's always the words. The sound obviously matters, but like if you talk to me and try to break down pieces of a song, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. My brain doesn't process music like that. So for me, it's just like if I hear something and I know that I like it because there's a certain sound or aspect to it that just like sounds really good to me, then I get into it and I listen to the words. Or if I hear a song and the words capture my attention and I also like the sound, then that draws me in, right? Like I spend a lot of time at the gym on the treadmill with my Spotify on, and then I just turn the lyrics on and I will like read lyrics as I'm running just to get to know like bands better and music better and like dig into what they're about, because I feel like I have a deeper connection with the music when I understand the story behind it. So those are the pieces of music that I love. And I kind of want to talk about that, right? Like when we gravitate to music and a certain sound, a certain band, a certain song, right? Like we play that repeatedly throughout our lives. And as we live and we grow and we go through our years, we look back and we realize that we have like a fucking soundtrack to our life, and everybody has their own soundtrack, right? We can listen to a song and it'll take us right back to like when I was 21 and living here and doing this thing with this person, right? Like, or you went through a bad breakup when you were like 18 and this song came on the radio and it really helped you heal. Or remember that dance in high school when you danced with your first crush, you know, and like this song was on and you got to like have that first like touch of a human on you that made your whole body ignite, right? Like every song in the soundtracks of our lives brings connection to our memories, right? And that just becomes nostalgic and becomes like a part of our makeup and who we are as people. So that is the part of music that I really relate to and that brings me in. I have certain songs that I like to put on when I'm in certain moods and certain playlists that I like to put on when I'm in certain moods. And I've started building more playlists. I'm creating some like headbanging through it playlists that I'll publicly share with you guys once they're done, once I get some of them completed. I'm still working on them, and then I can share them with you if you guys have any interest. If not, that's fine too. But yeah, there's just like different pieces and stages of our lives that we go through, right? Like in the 90s, like the grunge era for me was just like my whole fucking youth, right? Like Alice in Chains helped to define my love of rock music and like heavy grunge music, right? Kurt Cobain, I'm sure, was influential to so many of us in our youth that grew up in that era. Stone Temple Pilots, like Scott Weiland, like hello, what the fuck, that guy blew my mind. And like we were so lucky to grow up in that generation where we had all those amazing artists come out of the same few years, right? We had fucking Pearl Jam and we had Soundgarden and we had Guns N' Roses and Metallica. Like we just got so much good stuff, like in such a short period of time. I remember just going from like one to the next to the next to the next, and I just couldn't get enough of it. And all of it just like fed my soul in this way that I really needed when I was in my youth and like struggling to just like figure out life. And I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that, feeling super connected to moments in your life with a song, right? Like parties in my high school years were all fucking Offspring, right? Like we were all jumping around listening to Offspring. We were all jumping around listening to Bush. We were all like, you know, in these puddles of like fun and laughter and friendship. Candlebox was always on. Like the Vitalogy Pearl Jam album was like influential in my youth. Like that album was fucking amazing. And just gave me this sense of like kind of chaos, right? Like it was so different than the things that I'd heard before. And I just loved it. What do you guys listen to when you're going through something? I have a song that I found that came up on Spotify. I didn't find it. It found me, right? Like, and it's a band called Too Close to Touch, which is, and I do look into bands. Like I do read into some stuff. Like I do want to know where they're from. I do read about like who is in the band. Do I remember their names? Not always, you guys. I have short-term memory loss. Like I can't, you know, I can't retain stuff. So I do skim things, but I don't have a database of information in my brain. That's just like not how I operate when it comes to music. Music is a feeling for me. Anyway, I was like listening. I really got into Amity Affliction for a while, and I would call them kind of like my guilty pleasure because it's a little bit more emotional, my emo metal, but I'm like in a kind of more sad mood. I love to listen to them. The songs are so just kind of sad, but honestly, like I love them. Maybe there is something wrong with me, you guys, but like some of the lyrics just like the and is it weird that some of the lyrics like actually make me laugh? I have these dark days in my life that are like really hard to get through. And then when I listen to a song like Drag the Lake by Amity Affliction, I'm like, yes, please. Like I get that. Drag the lake, you won't find me. Like sometimes I just, and like, no, I'm not going to go do this, but some days your mind just goes to a dark, and sometimes it's dramatic, right? Like I also like to make fun of myself and my darkness. And so like I do imagine when I listen to that song being dragged through the bottom of the lake. And so for some reason that makes me feel better. Like there's someone else out there that has thought about that, right? Like just bury me so far under that you're not going to find me. I know that's dark and I'm laughing because it is dark, but I also like, I really relate to it. Do I want to go like be sunken underneath the bottom of the lake? No. But like in those dark moments, I'm just like, fuck this, right? Like just fucking throw me in there. And so I'm laughing because it sounds ridiculous to talk about it, but it's true. And the song Soak Me in Bleach, like, yes, please turn my skin inside out, soak me in bleach. Like some days I just feel like I just want to feel the pain so that I don't feel nothing anymore, right? Like, because sometimes I just feel like I don't have anything left and I would rather feel something than nothing. So I relate to songs that are about that as well. And I don't feel like that every day of my life, but on the days that you do feel like that, that is really loud, right? Like that sense of like feeling that way is, it really takes over. And I will have another episode where I talk about those dark spaces. I really want to have like a detailed podcast about depression and digging into those dark spaces and what they feel like, because I know that not everyone has experienced that. And if you have, then you know what I'm talking about, right? And these podcasts are meant for the people that know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't been there and you're listening to this and you think I'm a crazy person, that's okay. Like I'm okay with that. I know where I'm at. I know where I've been. And again, like I don't have a lot of shame around it. I'm like pretty open about all the things I've been through. And I can laugh at my dark spaces on the days when I'm feeling good, right? Because I understand that it's just like part of the process. And I'm okay with that, right? Like the fact that I'm talking about it means that I'm in a healthy enough place that I can have a conversation about it and not feel like worried that someone's going to judge me, because I just don't care. right? Like, I feel like if we talk about it more, then people will become more open about it and stop hiding it so much like it's something to be ashamed about, because it's not. Um, and if you've been there, I'm sitting right beside you. I've been on that fucking ledge. I feel like I lived there. And again, that might sound dramatic and dark and like dreary to a lot of people, but if you've been through trauma and you've been through something really fucked up in your life and it's dragged you down hard and you've had to crawl your way back out of that, like, we understand each other on just a different level. You can't explain that to someone else, right? Like, we only understand things fully when we experience them ourselves. So I can sit here and talk to somebody that's never been through that all fucking day long, but you're not really going to know what I'm talking about unless you've actually been through that. And if you haven't, that's okay. We can talk about it. You can listen to what I have to say, and maybe it will help you like navigate a situation with somebody that has been there that you're just not like connecting with about something. Anyway, side ramble, because that's what I do. But yeah, so I was talking about a song that found me on Spotify. And, you know, Amity Affliction is like metalcore. I don't know what you define them as. And I do have to have a conversation about like labeling music as well. My brother says things don't need labels. And you know what? He's right. I like all different levels of music. I love the grunge era. I love hard rock. I love heavy rock. I love metalcore. I love heavy metal. I like some really heavy metal. I do like a lot of screaming, and I will get into some things like Pig Destroyer is definitely not my jam. I listened to Lamb of God for a long time. I think they have some new stuff out I should probably dig into. A song came up on my playlist today and I was like, what's this? How do I not know this song? So I'll have to go back and dig into that. But yeah, the labeling of like the different kinds of metal confuses me now, because like metalcore didn't exist when I was younger. So like, I'm not really sure what that is. Is it just screamy metal? Is it just like the new way of saying hard rock? That's what I said to my brother. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just like the new way of saying hard rock. Like, does hard rock exist anymore? And then he said, I don't remember. He listed a couple bands that he said were hard rock. And I was like, that just sounds like regular rock to me. But I don't know. Like, maybe my mindset and like the way that I perceive the music is just like not the same as other people. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. So what is Amity Affliction? Like, what category do they fall into? I'm not really sure. Regardless, I call it like a little bit more of like an emo list, right? So then as soon as I listen to something that's a little bit more emotional, a little bit more sad, then of course the algorithm takes over and it just starts like feeding me more stuff, right? Can somebody please tell the algorithm to like figure out what my mood is and then base my playlists on my mood? Like, could someone do that for me? Because that'd be great. It's like it feeds me stuff that I don't want to hear sometimes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So then this band called Too Close to Touch came up, and I did look into them. I read a little bit about them because I'm always like, well, you know, who are these people? Where'd they come from? Unfortunately, the lead singer died a few years ago, like quite young. And I can't remember his name because, you know, no memory. But this song Sympathy came up on my playlist. And if you haven't listened to this song, it is awesome. I wouldn't call it metal. I'm not really sure what they're categorized as either. Maybe if I'm going to do a podcast about metal, I should research stuff more, but that's also just not who I am, you guys. So I'm going to tell you what I like, and I'm going to say, go listen to it. And then if you want to do that, you can. And if you want to go look them up and find out more information, then go right ahead. You can do that. That's as far as I got when I looked into them. But the song Sympathy is just like, I really relate to it because on the days where my PTSD just like really pisses me off, I get tired of it, right? Like, yes, I do have some anger around that whole situation. And I think that I've now reached a place where that anger is like a healthy level of anger. I also don't have shame around talking about anger. I think anger is a normal part of life. Um, and when things are upsetting, we should also discuss that, right? Like, I don't have shame around that. So when I have days where I'm just like really pissed off about what I'm going through, like, I get tired of it. It's really frustrating that I can't just take a break from it. I don't have a switch in my body that allows me to shut off my anxiety and shut off like my nervous system. Can I just tell my nervous system to take a break today and not overreact to absolutely everything in my environment? That would be great. I would love to have a day off from that. And I don't get that, right? Some days I just want to cry, and some days I want to scream, and some days I'm just fucking pissed off about it. I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm over it. I don't want to have it in my body anymore. And for me, this song, it just resonates with me in a way that is just like, go away, right? I've created a list that's called my fuck off list, my fuck off playlist. And I've had a couple of people say, like, well, that sounds angry. Okay, well, it's not like fuck off, like fuck you, like fuck off to you. It's fuck off to my mental health issues. So for me, it's empowering. Again, when people hear swear words, they automatically assume negativity, right? Like, I'm not telling you to fuck off. I'm not telling myself to fuck off. I'm telling my PTSD to fuck off. So for me, it is like an empowering thing, right? So I have a playlist called my fuck off playlist. And I put songs on there that are like resonating with me about my mental health issues and like what I'm going through. And there's a lot of lyrics in there that are about like coming through darkness, and just like feeling really shitty. And, you know, like they're songs that make me feel better. And I listen to it a lot at the gym. And the song Sympathy is on that playlist, and I like to listen to it a lot because there's like lyrics in there that just help me cope, right? And I'm going to have to, I guess, look up the Spotify rules on copyright so that I can find out if I can play songs while I'm talking. Probably not, and that sucks because it's a heavy metal podcast, and I'd like to like play a clip of a song or something like that. So if there's any bands out there that want to like give me rights to play their music, you know, go ahead. Also, if you want to come talk to me on the show, that'd be cool too. But anyways, my favorite part of this song is in the chorus when it says, "Don't you dare say I'm gonna make it, because I don't believe a word you say. There's a sickness living inside me. You can spare me all your sympathy." And like, yes, that's dark and it's like sad. And a lot of people won't relate to that. And they'll look at it and be like, wow, you're really fucked up. And like, maybe that's how you see it. And that's okay. But I see it as like truth, honesty, rawness. Like on the other side of this song is a human being that went through something. And through that, they got just as pissed off as I probably am. And like, I'm guilty of doing this when other people are struggling, like of saying, you're okay. It's going to be okay. And as a person that's been through a lot of garbage, I really dislike it when people say that to me, even though I know it's coming from a place of love. Like, don't tell me that I'm going to be okay. You can't see the future. You don't know what I just went through and how fucking bad I feel. And when I am sitting at the bottom of that dark space and I am so low that I don't think that I'm going to come out of that, no one can promise me that it's going to get better. And even if you say it's going to get better, that's not going to make me feel better. So I appreciate the dark, raw honesty of the human being that wrote this song, that had the strength to put it out there to the world to hear, right? Like, thank you for that. That's fucking awesome. I relate to it and I get it. And I love shit like that. I don't know what the song's actually about, but that piece of it I really relate to in my own world, because I just have these days where I've just had enough of everything. And like, I don't want sympathy. I don't want you to tell me it's going to be okay. I just want everything to go away, right? And like, not to be rude to everybody around me, but I just want everything to fuck off. And so I have this list that is a part of my existence that helps me just cope with that. And that song is on there. And I really love that song. I've been digging a bit into Archers, and there's also this one song that comes up and it's called Made for Love, I think. I don't know what you categorize Archers as either. I don't know where they are in that list. But there's a couple songs I really like. But Made for Love comes up, and I've listened to this song on repeat quite a few times. The chorus is like, not enough. Maybe I'm not made for love. I'm not as tough as I thought I was, because I keep bringing myself down. Something like that. And like, yes, I relate to that. And not because I don't think that I am worthy of love or that I don't have love, but because of my mental health issues. I have days where I'm like, you know, maybe I am just not meant to have all this love around me, because I feel like I am probably a lot to deal with, right? I do have moments and days where I feel like maybe it's just too much for the people around me that love me. My mental health issues are pretty serious, and they get to be a lot and a lot of strain on the people that I love. And so, yeah, some days I do feel like I'm not enough for them, right? I don't show up in the ways that I that I wish that I could for them? And am I the person that I want to be for them all of the time? Right. And like, maybe I'm just not meant for this. Maybe I'm not meant to have this love around me and be responsible for kids and a marriage and like all the stuff that comes with that. And of course, like I love my kids and I love my husband and I love my life and like all the pieces of that. But when you struggle with mental health, you also have those pieces that are like, am I enough for them in all the ways that I am? Like they have a lot to deal with. So I like that song because it resonates with me in that way. And I don't know what that song's about, but for me, that's what it brings to me. They're touring soon with Nothing More. That would be awesome to go see them. They're cool. And yeah, like songs just like tell stories, right? And the beautiful thing about music and the best thing about music, I think, is that there are these amazing artists out there that are writing them and they have a story to tell, right? So they've been through something in their life, they have an experience and they're putting it down on paper and they're coming together with their band and then they're putting this song together that tells the whole story with the musical instruments and the lyrics, and it just becomes a beautiful piece of art. Everybody that looks at it and listens to it and brings it into their life takes it in a different way, right? It's like looking at a painting or a photograph, like when you go to an art show, like a piece of art, right? Every beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and everyone that looks at something, depending on who they are, is going to see something different, right? And so when you hear a story and the lyrics resonate with you or the song resonates with you in some way for some reason, what that looks like and brings to you will be different than the person sitting next to you. And what the actual story is about is personal and only belongs to the person that wrote it, right? Do we need to have that story? Not really. We get to take that song, that piece of art, and create it and bring it into our own lives and make it ours in our own way. And that is the part of music that I love the most. So that's why like lyrics are so important to me, right? I'm a storyteller. I love to create my own stories with my music, with the music that I listen to. What else? I also am really into Imminence right now. Have you guys listened to this band? I mean, what the fuck? Violin core? That's like the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. Violin and heavy metal. I remember like back in the 90s when Metallica tried to do like a thing with like a symphony or an orchestra or something. And my best friend in high school fucking loved Metallica. I hope I have her on the show sometime because she could talk about Metallica probably for 2 hours straight. But she was like trying to get me to listen to it. And I was like, oh no, what is this? Like I couldn't cope with it. I did not love it at all. It was not my jam. And she loved everything that Metallica did, up and down, all the way around, everything that they explored and every album that they did. I have lots of them that I didn't love. But she just dove into it. She was like so in love with all the things that they did. But it was not my thing. And I was like, this sounds fucked. Like, I don't know how a symphony and Metallica go together. It's like wrecking my brain. And so I was just like, I can't. I tried and I couldn't. I was like, sorry, not for me. But then when Imminence came up on my playlist, I was like, wow. Like listening to that in my earbuds at the gym, and it just like that, the clarity and the beauty in that violin is something that like pulled at me in a way that I don't even know if I've ever experienced. I was just like, wow. And the violin is such a beautiful instrument, right? And the way that they have incorporated it into their music is just like seamless. I don't know. It's fucking cool. If you guys haven't checked it out, you definitely should. Their newer albums are really cool, but their like older albums are awesome. Heaven and Hiding is a fucking rad song. Ghost, like there's so many good songs on that album that I just fucking love. And then their newer albums are really cool too. I think it's called The Black or The Reclamation of Eyes, their newest song. Sorry. Memory, right? And like, I'm not an information station here. I know the band. If you want to check them out, you can go find them. That's going to be the like extent of the information that I probably give you, unless I have something that I retain in my brain that I'm like, oh, this is cool. Then I might bring up something. But if you need an information station about metal, this is not the place to be. But anyways, super fucking cool music. I actually just like gifted myself an Eminence hoodie. I ordered it online from the UK, which cost me way too much money. And I don't know when it's going to get here, maybe spring break. But I'm like super excited to wear that on my podcast when I get it. Death by a Thousand Cuts. This is a cool song. And their videos are awesome. Like there's this one where they're like on the side of a snowy mountain or something, and they're just like there's in a fucking blizzard and the violin's going, and it's just so fucking cool. Like I love everything about heavy metal. That video with like the big long jackets and they're just like violin core. Like violin core, what is that? I love it. It's super cool. So I definitely recommend checking them out. And there's something about them that's really calming. Like for me and my nervous system, like the violin is just so beautiful that it makes me just like feel like I'm floating or something in this like super mellow, dramatic, silky fucking heavy metal vibe. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't make sense maybe to you, but it's just like a really fucking cool place to be in. When I put my headphones on and I listen to them at the gym, it's like I'm in an alternate universe, and a universe that is like a place that I want to exist for a really long time. Anyway, I think it's cool. You should check it out. And like I just relate to it. I don't know. And you know what I was thinking about? Like I was also thinking about, the people that write these songs, and like again the stigma around heavy metal is like it's so dark, it's angry, it's this, it's that. And like yeah, some of it is, but also like why does that matter? People write horror movies. You can watch a horror movie and you're not like, oh, that's so angry, right? Like there's like people that love horror movies. And what about murder mystery books and like, all those like dark pieces of like that side of life? How come a horror movie isn't like a dark, negative, angry space for people to exist in? Or like a murder mystery novel isn't like seen as like, ooh, negative and dark and scary, but heavy metal is, right? Like somebody's writing those books. Somebody is writing those horror movies, right? But people aren't seeing that as like, oh, you're so angry because you watch horror movies and you love to watch horror movies. Those spaces inside the brains of the people that are creating those are just as dark as the people that are writing heavy metal songs, right? And maybe not even dark, right? Like just a sad experience or a grief, right? Or whatever that story is about, right? They've been through something hard and they wrote it down and they made a story out of it, just like that movie, just like that book. The horror movies, like have you seen some of the shit out there? Like, what about The Ring? Who wrote that shit? Like, I'm more worried about that person than the people writing these songs. Maybe we should have a conversation about that. Um, anyway, the lyrics with Eminence are also super cool. Like, there's like it's a lot about shadows and like sinking, and oh my gosh, what's that song? In Come Hell or High Water, maybe, where it's like I think it's about like being in water and everyone's drowning and like we're not going to make it. And then, yeah, I don't know, like stuff like that. I just feel that way sometimes, and I don't feel like that all the time, but I do relate to the people that share their honest and open experiences about feeling that way, because I would rather talk about it than hide it. And so when songs like that come up, I put them on my playlist because I fucking relate to that. Um, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that think that that's weird. And I'm okay with that, right? Like you can relate to whatever you need to relate to get through your life, and I'll relate to whatever I need to get through mine. It just feels like a little bit better to know that I'm not alone on those crazy, shitty, dark days that feel like you're alone in. So those are the songs I relate to. Yes, I do like the songs about, being dragged to the bottom of the lake and turning your skin inside out and just being soaked in bleach. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but it makes me feel good. I think that maybe I should go back to therapy. Or maybe I'm in exactly the place that I need to be because I'm healthy enough to talk about it. So I also feel like that is a win. And to all the people out there that are writing these songs that are helping me get through my life, like I fucking thank you. Thank you. Um, I don't need to shake your hand or give you a hug or like personally get to know you as a human. Just know that like I fucking respect what you're doing and I appreciate you putting yourself out there for us. And that's what I'm here to talk about. Being a fan, being a lover of heavy metal, and just like really fucking appreciating all the humans out there that are putting themselves out there for us to connect to. Right. Yeah. I think that I'll just wrap the podcast up today by sharing Another one of my, I guess, one of my all-time favorite songs from the soundtrack of my life, which is from my youth, Alice in Chains. Like literally anything by Alice in Chains, but like everything from Jar of Flies. I can listen to that album on repeat probably for 6 days straight before I feel like I want to listen to something else. Also Dirt, like Down in a Hole. It was like the theme song of my life when I was younger. And the whole sound of Alice in Chains. And I know I talk about lyrics a lot, but the lyrics weren't really what drew me into Alice in Chains when I was a teenager. It was just the sound. And it was just so different from anything I'd ever heard before. And I would just sit in my room and just like hit that tape player. And I'm sure that anyone else that grew up in the 90s will be able to relate to this, but like wanting to write out the lyrics and sitting there and stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, trying to write out the lyrics so that I could understand the song. Yeah, everything about that band in the 90s like helped me grow into the space of how much I love music. That band helped shape my whole life. So that definitely, like Alice in Chains, is a soundtrack for my teenage years for sure. And what's your soundtrack, you guys? Like, what is, when you look back at your youth, is there a band that you just like had on all the time that was the center of your universe? If so, I want to hear what it is. You should put it in the comments or hit me up on social media and like send me a note about it. And if you have any recommendations for music for me, let me know. I want to hear all of it. Well, I shouldn't say I want to hear all of it. There is a line for me, you know, like I am a lyric person, and there is a line for me with music where heavy metal kind of goes from like being hardcore to just being terrifying. So see, I'm not that angry. I don't want to listen to the stuff that's about like decapitating babies. And if you do, that's cool. Like, I don't care. Listen to what you want. But yeah, some stuff's just a little bit too aggressive for me. And my nervous system goes from calm to like, oh, this is like too much. Anyways, if there's like a song that you have in your life that brings up this like story, or like, you know, you have a moment that a song defines for you, I just love that. I love that about music. I think that I want to talk about, you know, pieces of that a little bit more. And I just want to end by saying, like, to everybody out there that is struggling and looking for some sort of like sanity in their mental health path, I get you. I feel you. I have a lot of experience. I have absolutely no resolutions, but I get you. And I think that if we keep talking about it and we keep headbanging through it, then we can just fucking survive it. And, you know, life is short. We're not here for that long. And what we do with the time that we spend here should mean something, I guess, you know, should being a matter of perspective. And I want to spend the time that I have here just trying to like let people know that they're not alone and that there's just like hard shit happening. I have so many other bands that I want to talk about too. And I probably should have like maybe plan this out a little bit better, but I don't have a set plan for these podcasts, and they're just going to go the way that they go. It might be about one song. It might be about one band. It might be about like 6 bands. I'm not really sure what it looks like. I'm not really sure how long they're going to be and how long I'm going to ramble and if it's even going to make sense to anybody or not. So to all my metal fans out there, thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning into my podcast. I'm just like winging it and trying to figure out what I'm doing and like trying to be true to myself and being as open and raw about these conversations as possible, and digging into like why I like this music and why it resonates with me. And just like showing all the pieces of like all the things that people don't want to look at. I fucking love you guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Danny from Barry Tomorrow, like I know that you like to talk about mental health. So if you want to come on the show, hit me up. I'm sure that'll happen. But really, like anyone that wants to come talk about mental health and heavy metal or any combination of those things, that's what I'm here to do. And I'm going to do it in a storytelling, whatever the fuck kind of way that feels right in that moment, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. So who knows what's coming next, you guys. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be swearing. See you guys next time.